Hello, everyone. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us today. We are really excited for this. Really excited for everybody to get logged in here. We're going to kind of get started. I see we got some people in the chat right away. Awesome. Thank you so much. Please, people, as you're joining in, feel free to say hi to shout out anybody that you want to see. And if you have any questions throughout the stream, please go ahead and throw those in there. And without further ado, let's get started. So first off, my name is Scott Smits. I am the floor director here at Ray's and equal opportunity beverage enthusiast. Here to talk to you today with some fine people. We have Layne and Mindy here from Siren Shrubs. Hi. Awesome. Oh, great to see you too, Kelly. Thank you. And just a real quick kind of thing as far as, you see we got a lot of great fun stuff here. So if you have your kit, go ahead and get that ready now. Tools you will need for this stream, as far as if you want to make the drink with you, you'll need some form of mixing vessel. It could be a pint glass, it could be a mixing glass, it could be the glass you intend to drink out of. Whatever you have, like I have a little cocktail mixing glass for that. You'll need a spoon. It's like, if you have like a regular little kitchen spoon, that'll work. Or if you have a cocktail spoon, that is great. And you will need some form of strainer. I will be using a julep strainer for this particular class because I'm going to stir the drink. If you have like one of these, which is I'm sure everybody has in their house, that also will work as well. You will need your syrup, you'll need your shrub, and you'll need your club soda. That is everything that you will need, I think, for this event.
I think so.
We will be touching base on a couple other things like throughout the event, and so please feel free to ask any questions as you go forward. So that's enough. I'm going to shut up for a little bit, and I'm going to hand it over to fine ladies Mindy and Layne. Why don't you guys say who are you? What is Siren Shrubs? What is a shrub? Like what do we got going on?
The whole gambit. Yeah, we can do that.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
We're super excited to be here. And we're really lucky that Mindy's here because she had a baby 3 weeks ago tomorrow.
Yes.
Lucky that she has the best
I made
baby.
it. I made it. I'm here.
Yeah. And so it's awesome to be together for this. My name is Layne and I'm the co-founder of Siren Shrub Co.
And I'm Mindy McCord, the other part of Shrub Co.
And we started Siren Shrub in 2018. And what they are, if you're not familiar, so we call them sophisticated mixers, and they're 3 ingredients: organic apple cider vinegar, organic cane sugar or maple syrup, and then whatever fruit, root, or herb we're using. And we partner with a Wisconsin farm in every bottle, so depending on what flavor we're talking about, we have these different farm partnerships. We plan with them in the beginning of the season to what they're going to grow for us, and then when harvest comes around, we make shrubs for the year. So the one I'm holding is basil, and we make that in partnership with White Feather Organics up in Custer, Wisconsin, right outside of Stevens Point.
Yep, and we've got 5 flavors total. So we've got maple ginger, basil, like Layne said. We've got Door County tart cherry, rhubarb, and then our maple ginger.
Strawberry.
Oh, I'm sorry, strawberry. What did I say that was? And then we also launched some sparkling shrub.
Which you got in your kit. If you got a kit, you got to try the basil.
You know what? I think that's a great little segue. If you have the kit, feel free to let's crack open a shrub. I'm gonna glass mine up. Personally,
So
ice.
got to put the basil in there because I think it's really easy for people to go the cherry when they're like, okay, first of all, I don't even know what a shrub is. What's a sparkling shrub? And so why are you gonna drink this? I'm gonna go with the tart cherry. So we were like, Scott, put the basil in because people won't try the basil on first glance.
They're skeptical
They're
of the basil.
skeptical.
But when they
And-
try the basil, they are so pleasantly surprised.
I gotta say, I'm gonna do my own little Pepsi commercial here. There we go.
Like
this is
that.
my first time having it. I got this sample can a few weeks ago, and I was like, no, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it. I wanted to try that, because this was one of my highlights when we sampled the concentrates. The basil was one of my favorite that same thing, did not expect it to be anything, and it's like, oh, this is good. This is really good.
Hands down, our best.
I think I'm gonna garnish mine.
Awesome.
Do a little apple. Little apple slice. I want to be
Nice.
classy.
Love it. Looks good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you use like a particular basil, or is it like always like the same? Is it like a sweet basil, or is it just like a whole cornucopia of basils for this little guy?
No, it is a sweet basil. And Tony actually, so he even called us last year because when he was buying seed, he's like, I got to know what you guys want me to grow because I've got to buy the seed. It's selling through really fast. And then he asked, like, can I change the variety? Because I think that there's this other variety that we might be able to get, eat like a higher yield on, but he's like, but it might not have as much oil. And then we just decided against it because
it's so good.
It's the way we want it, and we don't want to mess that, and obviously when you're working with like a plant and real ingredients, which we are very, very proud of, we work with real fruits and vegetables. So this isn't a flavor house flavoring. This is, we can explain how we make them or whatever in a little bit, but that it's harvested, it is taken to our co-packer, and it is made the next day. So like those oils are so important to why the basil tastes the way it does.
Yeah, and it is fantastic. I'm seeing a couple people. Jill loves it. Also, she puts it with some herb seedlip and cardamom bitters. That sounds good. I love the cardamom bitters, and I think that would go fantastic with this. We got a scavenger hunt for a strainer happening.
I know, that's awesome.
Yeah. Fantastic. Awesome. So are all shrubs vinegar based, or are there like other styles?
There's definitely other styles, but our shrubs we use, they're all vinegar based, but there's different types of vinegars you can use for a shrub. We use strictly organic apple cider vinegar for all of our flavors. And there's always 3 ingredients in every bottle. So like Layne said, it's organic apple cider vinegar, organic cane sugar, maple syrup, and then whatever fruit, root, or herb we're using. And that's it. That's a shrub. And the process is a marriage between the fruit and the sugars, and you let that sit and marry for a couple days, and it draws out all these juices and creates a syrup, and then you add the apple cider vinegar to that to maybe it makes it less syrupy.
Sure.
Once you add the ACV.
Gives it that bite. And it's a colonial thing. So it actually first showed up in colonial America as a fruit preservation method. So what they did was when fruit was about to spoil, they would add vinegar to it or the sugar to it in order to stabilize it. Then they would get that, remove the solids and use that syrup, mix it mix it with water out in the fields when they were working in farm fields, and then also in some of the first alcoholic cocktails in America.
There we go.
With shrubs.
So I did not realize that. I did not realize that the shrubs dated back to early cocktails. Like, I've never known that. That's fascinating.
Yeah, and shrub is actually an Arabic word for drink that's like even further back in the colonial times. But yeah, they went out of favor when refrigeration came along, and you no longer, some of the preservation methods that forever were being used kind of went out the window. And then with the craft cocktail movement, you saw shrubs start to come back to the scene. And yeah, like Mindy mentioned, we use all organic apple cider vinegar, but you can find shrubs.
Champagne vinegar, balsamic vinegar, yeah, whatever you fancy.
Totally.
So what got you guys doing this? Like, how did this start?
Yeah.
So Layne and I met when we worked at a coffee shop / cafe in Stevens Point. So we were both really into food, and our friendship kind of blossomed on food preservation. So we were in the kitchen together all the time doing different things. Eventually, Layne got married, and her husband started a small farm, and the stuff that they produced there, we would make into things for the farmers market here in Stevens Point. And it got to a point where we felt like we were spending a lot of time hustling salsas and jams and things that were just really saturated, like everybody's doing it. And so you don't really have an edge up when it comes to that type of food preservation. It's just difficult. It's not that it's not possible.
Yeah, you just kind of get lost in the crowd.
Yeah.
Right.
So we got to a point where we started growing our families and things of that sort, and decided that, like, if we're going to spend our time doing this, we either really need to do it or not. And so that's when Layne discovered Shrubs, because she was pregnant and looking for an alcohol alternative. And I'll let you take it from there.
Well, yeah, and I mean, a little bit before that, so I found a New York Times recipe, and I'd never heard of a shrub, and I felt like I love food. Like, I would know about this. How do I not know about this? And we made it and took it on an event, but then, like, they really came into my life when I was needing an alcohol replacement. And my husband bought me some shrubs, and I'd make a ritualistic cocktail when I was pregnant. And then Mindy just, like, started busting out all these shrub flavors, and we would take them to parties, and people were like, I don't really even need alcohol in my drink either. Like, these are delicious. And because they do something, right? They, like, offer you this complexity and this tingle in your cheeks that you want from an adult beverage, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's I'm glad you brought that, because that's something that I've felt like since I've started kind of having these at home myself, really set it apart of other alternatives that I've had, and why I was so excited to do this with you, because it totally has like that brightness and mouthfeel, like almost like you get from like a really aromatic wine or a really acidic cocktail. And it, like, I know it's like I know it's the acid, but I can't really explain how it's doing that.
Yeah,
and it's just great, and it's like different and exciting, and it's just awesome stuff.
It could do events prior to COVID. You'd meet people that were really excited to try the product, but you'd also meet people that were a little skeptical, or people that just were like, I don't understand this at all. Please explain. So there was a whole variety of people that we were meeting out in the market, and Shrubs do really offer some sort of complex taste that's undescribable. And if you're apple cider vinegar apprehensive, I would still encourage people to give it a try, because you can't necessarily identify that it is the apple cider vinegar that's doing that in a shrub, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Unless you're super vinegar, like anti-vinegar, then sometimes those people can be like, ah!
Yeah, I could see that. When we first kind of brought this kind of thing in, there was one person here that was like, I can't get into it. And it was like, it was definitely outvoted like 5-4.
Yeah. But there is that, and that's okay. Like, nothing is for everyone, right? And so, but it's for enough people, and I think that that's the cool part, is that a lot of people end up being like, whoa, I just didn't even know what to expect with this, and it's so yummy.
For sure. So one of the reasons I really wanted to do this class is because I feel like there's been a growing interest in NA, and I know you kind of touched on like your reasonings, Layne, why, with you becoming pregnant. People watching, feel free to throw in the chat why this class interests you. Like, is it, what about NA or non-alcoholic or dry? Is this like a dry January thing? Is this like for health reasons? Is this because you just want to not have 3 drinks when you get home at night? Like, I'll absolutely like share mine in a second here. But go ahead and like throw in the chat if you're comfortable, like what kind of interests you about this class specifically, and non-alcoholic or you're just dry beverages. For me personally, I was definitely a 2 to 3 cocktail a night kind of. I would get home and I would make a drink, and then I would have another drink, and like if anything, I would just have like a third like kind of nightcap kind of thing. And my girlfriend and I, we started kind of like, we really want to really try this, like a new nutrition plan, and really kind of buckle down with our fitness. And so that really meant measuring calorically what we were intaking, and through some self-observation, it was like, I have a lot of liquid calories, like a lot. And so we were kind of thinking about, it's like, I got really fidgety at home, like just by trying to have like just sparkling water on its own. Like, I needed something to do with it, and that's where I really kind of like started attaching with shrubs and bitters as well, just kind of mixing them up with own sparkling waters, and trying to create my own little concoctions and other cocktails to try and formulate that that piece or that ritual of making a drink like when you get home from a day without necessarily having the calories or booze along with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's really important that you bring that up because so I participated in Dry January, or I'm participating in Dry January, and it's the first time that I've gone in on one of these. And even though we've been watching and listening to the NA community and the sober community for as long as we've been in business, and really trying to think more about how our beverages act as an open space at the table for bringing inclusivity in beverages and not making people that don't want to drink have a soda, or offering them something that is those interesting complex things that you mentioned. But I do find myself too, because my daily or evening ritual was really to go toward that alcoholic beverage or several that I was going to drink, that I needed something else in my hands that was going to go down my throat. And I mean, it's like that, and it's really, and I found myself just wanting to have that something. And I'd even call and talk to Mindy about it and be like, Mindy, as long as I have a thing by me that I can keep drinking, because I've taught myself that that's my habit. And so replacing your habit with a good habit is the best way to break habits, actually.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, just coming off of being pregnant, is that a thing?
I'm not sure what to.
I mean, I took the opportunity also to reflect on my relationship with alcohol, and I think that's just a healthy thing to do from time to time to just really think about what your relationship is with alcohol. And it was an interesting experience, and I'm grateful for that being a part of my pregnancy journey as well. I mean, and I've participated in Dry Januaries and Sober Octobers before too, and also used that as an opportunity, but 9 months is a significant amount of time to think about your relationship with alcohol and the culture in Wisconsin and all of that. So I don't know, I feel excited to be here tonight to talk about it openly, and I think the stigmatism that occurs for people that choose not to drink alcohol for whatever reason, we gotta cut that out. we gotta stop asking people why they're not drinking.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I've seen a couple people in the chat, it's as far as in Wisconsin it's everywhere, or I miss the social aspect, and I've gotten that being on the retail side of things, people that come in and automatically would ask for non-alcoholic wine or non-alcoholic beer, so because it would look like something boozy, it would look like a drink, into which I think now, and thanks to people like you, we're seeing products come out that are giving people more freedom to branch out how they NA, essentially, instead of just having whatever arguably alcohol removed wine or cheaply made beer, whatever out there. They can find a great quality product and use it however they wish, and be comfortable using it however they wish, and being able to have dynamic flavors and tastes and moods and all kinds of great things. So it's really, really great, and we're seeing a huge interest in it, and it's got to be fascinating on your guys' side as well.
Oh, it has, and we've learned so much from the sober community on our social medias and stuff, and it's just been really eye-opening. I mean, we're learning things as we go too, and we're just really grateful to people that are brave enough to stand up and say, we want options.
I think that glass you mentioned, or the can or the glass of wine, someone mentioned on a call, because we did some surveys earlier in 2020 with some of our customers who are in the sober community, and they said forever going out, if you didn't drink, you were given the Red Solo cup of water, or whatever, and someone was given a pint glass with beer in it, and you could tell automatically, and then everybody questioned that. So if you were the DD, or if you were the pregnant one, or if you were the whatever characteristic we placed on that person for them not drinking, not just because they didn't want to or whatever, but just that I want this beautifully concocted, garnished, gorgeous drink that tastes as good, isn't overly sweet, isn't, you know, like, yeah, is just it's
Balanced
just
and complex and crafted and feels good and tastes good.
just as good as a person drinking alcohol would get. And without me having to ask a bartender and them rolling their eyes that they have to figure out what to make me because now I've inconvenienced them because they're used to making this thing. And that was some of the stuff that I just like held close, like, oh, right, I can.
Yeah.
Here.
Or sure, it's we've all been there, right? We've all gone to the bar and just asked for the water and felt like such a jerk for doing so. So yeah, like you feel guilty, like asking for something.
You're not too much, like you're automatically like, something to that bartender.
Yeah, I'm seeing lots of yeses with that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Let's see what else we got kind of going on here. Like, yeah, like don't cook me some delicious vegetarian food. Just don't like fake meat. Like, yeah, like make it like no. This is an NA drink. It's not like a drink that's trying to look like it. No, like this is like because you see that too. It's just like oh, we'll just take the booze out.
Right.
You know.
I that person's comment, but all I can see in my head is like a plate of lettuce with ranch on it, and like that's what the vegetarian option is. With maybe like a really unripe tomato on it. So.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh man.
Awesome. Hey Scott, can I ask you something?
You can.
Okay. So, can you tell us how you discovered? Because you guys picked us up before we were in distribution, and can you just tell us a little bit about how you discovered us and why? Like why you brought us in or why you were kind of interested in Siren Shrub.
Great question. So I admittedly looked for a shrub to carry at Ray's for cocktail reasons, for alcoholic reasons. I was kind of researching for something to have and to grow our mixer and bitters category and just to try to be like a place in Milwaukee and Wauwatosa that people could go and find like really niche products like that. And so I was exploring a essentially wholesale portal of a variety of small wholesalers called Fair and found you guys on there. And then I saw that it was listed as, I think it was listed as Amherst on the website. And I was like, and I was working with our growler manager, Rob Zellermeyer. And I was like, Rob, you know Anello from Essential Waters, right? Like, and of course they're very tight. It's like, do they know these people? Like, who, like, are these, like, how have I not seen, like, I felt embarrassed because I have not, like, I felt embarrassed because, like, how is there, like, this awesome looking company that's, like, down the, we probably drove past them. Like, and Anello got back to us and was like, yeah, they're awesome. And it was like instant. Like I ordered like a case of each. It's like, yes, click.
So I love that your story brings up Anello because one of our best customers here in Stevens Point is called the Bottle Stop. And they, one of the owners was part of a cohort of community members around here that got Central Waters sweatshirts, and on the back it says, I know Anello.
Oh yeah.
Because everybody that like ever talks about Central Waters knows Anello. Like everybody. And so the big joke around here is like, I know Anello.
Pretty sure we did a slushy event that the name of the slushy was I know Anello.
I love it.
Yeah, that is for folks at home, that is a thing in the beverage industry here. Like it's kind of a joke around the beer side of things of how many people know Anello. So it is kind of, I realized I steered into that joke.
Following him in his car, just to wherever he goes, I should just follow behind and be like,
I know Layne.
yeah. I'll be like, well, you know Anello, so now I know Anello too. So what do you think about getting to know Shrub?
Hi.
Super fun.
Fantastic. Yeah, so that's like, and then you guys have just been growing with us, and we keep bringing more stuff in, and excited.
Yeah, awesome.
Almost took out my earbuds. Oh, now I want to know Anello. Yes, Mary, soon. I'm sure one day you will know Anello.
Maybe we should call him to get him on now.
Just get him on here. Have him dial in.
Yeah, right. Oh, I'm just kidding. That's great.
Awesome.
Totally really that we talked about him though.
Right? All right. I think I'm ready to make a drink.
Awesome.
Are we ready to make a drink? Chat, are we ready to make a drink?
I'm excited to talk about our partners too, because they're other Wisconsin brands.
Yes, because you guys have there are some great little pieces in this kit. There's that guy. All right. So everybody at home, viewers at home, be sure to grab your tapped maple syrup, maple ginger, Siren Shrub, and Top Note Club Soda. We'll be using those. Kelly, yes, Kelly, we're making a drink. Easy, bud. Don't get the air horn out. All right. And this is just like a real basic framework. We're going to kind of think of it as kind of like this little split between a Manhattan and a 75 because there's a sparkling component involved. But to start, just go ahead and open up your tapped syrup. Here we go. And this, and I've known of Tapped before, but I've never had their product before meeting Layne and Mindy. So where did you guys find them?
Yeah, so this is a fun thing. So the maple ginger shrub, which Mindy just poured into the glass here. So our maple ginger shrub is also made with tapped maple syrup. So beyond this cocktail syrup that we're going to be using also in this drink. But Jeremy Solon and Abby Solon are the husband and wife duo of Tapped. And they live here in Stevens Point. I've actually known Jeremy for more than 10 years. I used to when we started Siren Shrub, I was actually running a nonprofit called Central Rivers Farm Shed. And I was the executive director there for 8.5 years. And Jeremy was one of the founders of that organization. And it works to grow a local food economy here in central Wisconsin. So it's really focused on farm connections, farmers markets, farm to school. We do the Farm Fresh Atlas up here. So that's how Jeremy and I got to know each other. And then fast forward, we, within that organization, that nonprofit, there's a commercial kitchen in there. And Jeremy forever had been making syrup with his dad every spring up in Anago. And decided to try a new product line, which was these infused syrups. And so what you're going to be tasting tonight, what was in your kit, if this is what you got, is actually one of their syrup infusions that's a partnership with Bitter Cube, the bitters company. But it's also NA because the syrup is cooked out, so there is no alcohol in the syrup. But some people will use bitter, some people won't, as far as NA drinks are concerned. But they have lots of infused syrups. I mean, they have so many flavors of infused syrups, I couldn't even do it justice today.
Yeah, I was checking out their website, and they have some crazy stuff. So if you're at home, check them out. They are legit. But as far as drinking, we're gonna pour just about a half ounce of this syrup because it is a beefy friend. So just about a half ounce. And if that sounds like a lot to you, feel free to use less. Like this is a basic framework. But I'm going to do about a half ounce of syrup in there. Get those little drip drops. An ounce of your maple ginger shrub. There we go. Right in your vessel.
We call maple ginger our zingy shrub.
Zingy shrub? It is so good. I'm excited for everybody. If you've not had it, I've seen a couple people that said like, oh my God, the maple is so good. It is divine. It is great. And just add a few ice cubes to your mixing vessel. And real talk, do you need to do this? No. Am I doing it because I want to feel fancy about doing it? Yes. This is completely optional. I am creating dishes for fun. And just give it a good stir. However, functionality, you are incorporating the sugar and the shrub, all letting it kind of mix in and melt together, really creating a nice little So, and I'm going to use a Collins glass for this because anything that with bubbles, I'd like to use a tall skinny glass. You could also use like an old-fashioned glass, which would be like what I had my first drink with. Or you could even, if you want to get crazy, you can get a coupe going. So take your mixture and pour it into your glass. Just so. Add some fresh ice, not the mixed ice, because we want not necessarily diluted ice quite yet. Couple 2-3 cubes. Couple 2-3. And then crack open your Top Note Club Soda. There, in my opinion, there is no substitute. This is the club soda.
Mary will appreciate you saying that.
Oh, she did. I'm gonna kind of gush about her in a minute. She's great. And then just once around the pool. And then I picked for this particular garnish. I made a little ginger fan.
Oh, cute.
To just toss in there.
We garnished with some big old frozen tart cherries.
Ooh.
Very pretty.
I like that you went to like the cherry bark side. I wanted to do the ginger side. So see, at home, folks, we kind of gave ourselves like a little like garnish Iron Chef thing. I guess we'll call it like. We should do fun garnish.
We worked really hard on ours.
Oh, I have one more that I am both proud of and embarrassed. I'll unveil it in a moment here. But everyone, cheers. Get some in there.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Mm. Oh.
Yeah, that's tasty.
Yes.
Oh
real quick. Okay.
Lovely.
It's really lovely, and it's much more that cherry bark comes through so much more than I expected.
This was my favorite. This was my excited. But when I found out about the cherry bark syrup, I was really excited about it for a couple of reasons. One, I like the cherry bark on its own, just with sparkling water. I feel like it adds a really great vanilla dynamic. Like the vanilla like super comes out. And I like the idea of incorporating that with something spicy like the ginger, and then also like sweet with the maple. And then I got excited with the top note, because so for those that don't know, like this is a particular product that I never pronounce her right name. Is it Pelletieri? Pelletieri, that's it. Mary Pelletieri created this specifically designed for barrel-aged spirits. Like she made it as a highball product. And so two of the things that you get in barrel-aged spirits are maple and vanilla. Those are flavors that come through in aging in a barrel, and it's like, oh man, this is gonna be so cool having a product that's designed to pair with those flavors with something that's not a spirit. Mm-hmm. And it shows through awesome.
This is fabulous. So I hadn't tried this, so Scott told us what the recipe was going to be, so we got the ingredients. We actually have zero proof cocktail kits that came out of as kind of a response to COVID. We created kits with Mary and Jeremy, so Mary of Top Note and Jeremy of Tapped, where we put together different flavors, so we have 4 different kits. But we had not had this combination before, and this is delicious.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, it is great. A couple questions. Oh, what is a 75? Oh, Kelly. So a 75, as far as cocktail, a 75 is a pillar of cocktail. It is a half part acid, half part sweetener, a 1 part spirit, and 3 parts bubble. So whatever that may, could be Prosecco, it could be sparkling wine, it could be club soda. It's based off of a French 75, which is like the first kind of cocktail which is gin, lemon juice, simple syrup, and sparkling wine. What else we got going on? I'm seeing tap cinnamon, cardamom, ginger, also yummy. Oh, that does sound good. We're going. Mara is having. We're going with some smidge of candied ginger. Nice. Ooh. For probably a garnish I'm seeing. Nice. Is it safe to assume you have the cherry bark vanilla bitters at Raise right now? We do have it. It's in my hand right now. So we do carry that, so you can order that. All the products that you're seeing here today, if you did not get a kit, you can find at raisewine.com and order them, and you can get them set up curbside pickup. You can pick them up in store, whatever's easiest for you. All these products are available. There are also more kits available, and I do plan on keeping those kits going past the class. So if you want to view this class again and try it again with some, like, in the after times whenever we get there, please feel free to do so. Yes. Now add it to my drink menu. Yeah.
It's
Oh.
drink menu worthy.
It
It's
really
very
is.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this so before I was really involved with the rhubarb shrub and my own personal household. I secretly had mostly kind of loved it with mezcal before times.
It's
Oh, yeah.
it's really, really good.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it is definitely a personal fave. But something else I kind of wanted to I know I've been like my, deep diving of your website. I've seen that you guys have mentioned like kind of like cooking things with shrubs. Like, what are some other things at home that you can do with these products? I know I've used them in marinades before, but like, what else like could you think about?
Yeah, so marinades is a great way to use your shrubs. Dressings, salad dressings. My go-to dressing recipe is just olive oil, mustard, salt, and whatever shrub of your choice. And mix that all together. That makes a really awesome zingy salad dressing. I also love putting shrub on my oatmeal. So if you're into overnight oats or oatmeal type, throw some shrub in there and it really brightens it up and it's super good. Smoothies, if you drink smoothies in the morning, throw a shot of shrub in there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Latest vegetables, so carrots, broccoli, and we have some recipes on our Instagram too, and
On our website as well, if you don't
Yeah.
have Instagram. Well, you'd be on Instagram right now, wouldn't you?
no, it's not. It's
Okay.
on YouTube. Yeah, so.
That doesn't make sense.
I don't know where we are really.
We're on YouTube. We're on Raise TV.
Yeah, and because of the vinegar base and like you've got that sweetness and that tartness, it does pair really well with food too.
Something really
Yeah.
fun we did this fall was make a boiled cider, and this can be really good in cocktails or mocktails. So you cook down apple cider. I added some maple ginger shrub to it. We have a recipe online, so if anybody's interested, we'd be happy to share that with you. Just shoot us an email. But you boil cider down until it becomes caramel, and you can use that in replace of sugar. So like in a faux fashion or an old fashioned or I don't know, whatever type of sugary syrup or something you're using.
Over ice cream.
Oh, it's so good. It was probably hands down my favorite recipe of.
That sounds awesome. I am intrigued. And the oatmeal really has me like
Yeah, that's
ears up.
fun.
Kelly asks, how long does the bottled shrub last in the fridge after opening?
Good question. 24 months. So you've got 2 years to get through your shrub. Hopefully it doesn't take you that long.
It
but-
should not take
Oh,
that
sure.
long.
But that makes sense though, because like you said, it's a preservative. Like,
It's vinegar, so you're in pretty good shape to keep that baby. I mean, I think that the reason why we even say 24 months, because really it's not going to go bad ever. It's just going to start to taste more vinegary than it is bringing out those other notes that you're going to have, because the acid will just take over after too much time.
oh sure. Which makes sense because like I know wine's very, very similar. Like wine is just constantly on a pilgrimage to become vinegar. So when you have vinegar, it's just further on its pilgrimage to become more vinegar.
More vinegar.
Yeah.
More vinegar.
One of the things that I thought that we could mention was just a little bit about how we describe the different shrubs if you're wondering about for like your palate. Like if you,
Yes.
we said that the maple ginger is kind of the zingiest one. And
Yeah, the biggest bite. So if you're looking for something to replace alcohol and you enjoyed that bite of alcohol, the maple ginger would be your best bet for that feeling.
and I'd say like because that's like a little bit more on, like the zingy, less sweet side of things. And the same, like the rhubarb would be also on that side. So if you like less sweet things, more sour things, the rhubarb is your go-to.
That's
So
the lip smacker.
And then the strawberry, which we only actually offer, it's a limited run flavor, so we actually only offer it through our website. We don't have it out in distribution. So sorry, Scott. Sorry for that. I didn't talk about it, but
Wow.
so the strawberry is like, if you go in to pick a strawberry in June in Wisconsin, it tastes exactly like that. It is
Juicy
like
and sweet and everything summer.
like it tastes just like strawberries. So if you love
Noted.
strawberries. And I mean, it's funny because, you know, if you buy grocery store strawberries any time of year, they taste the same. They don't have that like in season flavor. These are done in season strawberries. Amazing, amazing, amazing. The cherry is kind of the go-to. It's like the most versatile. I mean, beyond the maple ginger is probably also.
This one is the most approachable. So people that are not familiar shrubs tend to gravitate towards the cherry, and I think it's just a comfortable flavor. But it also, you can put it in everything. It really does. It is very versatile.
And I will say that was the one that caught the eye, like when we were talking about, to throw back to how did I find it? I was like, wait, Door County cherry shrub. What is this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who this? Who is this with their Door County cherry shrub? What's going on here?
Yeah. And then basil. The basil, like we said, is the surprise. So the basil came out of Mindy's coworker and one of our good friends, owns a farm, and Mindy was working with her at the time. And she was like, and we were making tons of shrubs at the time. They weren't marketed or anything. And she was like, Mindy, I have basil if you want to try a basil shrub. And Mindy brought it up to me, and I think we were both like,
I don't know.
like vinegar and basil. And then we're like, well,
Let's just try it.
so Mindy made it. And then she was like, Layne, you have to try this basil shrub. Like, you gotta be kidding me. And I remember trying it, and I was just like, how in the world? What happened?
It totally knocks your socks off because you just do. It's such a surprise.
It was definitely the sleeper when we did our initial sample of the products. It was definitely like the I'm gonna take this for myself.
Right. And I should have mentioned when I was introducing them, but so basil comes from White Feather Organics in Custer, Wisconsin. The Door County tart cherries come from Sequist Orchard I believe in Sister Bay. I could be getting that wrong as far as Door County cities, but the strawberry comes from Rayburn Berry Patch in Marshfield. The rhubarb comes from Epic Nature LLC in Amherst. And the maple ginger, the maple syrup comes from Tap Maple Syrup. So those are our farm partnerships in each bottle. So, you know, we hold close to the values of, putting wealth back into communities too. So paying fair wages and prices for ingredients that we find to be really awesome, grown by people here in our state, doing sustainable agriculture practices and such. And so that's something that
And 4 out of our 5 farm partnerships aren't just farm partnerships; they're also our neighbors. So that's a really
That's
fun
cool. That's very
model.
cool. Awesome. Well, I know those are the main components of this kind of show. If you folks have any questions, please go ahead and drop them into the chat. There are a couple more points that I'm going to cover, but we're kind of getting close to the end, so make sure if you have like a question that you've been meaning to kind of type in, go ahead and throw that in there. For those that are interested as far as the cocktailing aspect of shrubs, like how to use them, you can swap it out into any cocktail that uses an acid. So if your cocktail uses lemon juice, you can substitute that lemon juice for your shrub. If it uses lime juice, so if you're making a margarita, you want to try a different margarita, like I would say try that tart cherry shrub with some lime juice and tequila, have like a little cherry limeade thing.
And we have a bunch of cocktail recipes up on our website too. So both non-alcoholic drinks, cocktail recipes, and those cooking too. So if anybody needs a little inspiration, also on Instagram, we don't have them all on our website. We have them between those 2 places.
But we also say that you can make shrub drinks or recipes as complicated or uncomplicated as you want. This product really lends itself well to a very easy cocktail or mocktail.
I think I killed my rhubarb bottle with just sparkling water.
Yeah,
It was
right.
It was arguably my favorite one because I just liked how light it was, and two, it is the lowest calorie. So for the people out there that are here for like calorie conscious reasons, the rhubarb is only 25 calories per ounce, which I think is ridiculous. So and you get that's insane. And so that's super fun.
Yeah, definitely. But I think to that point that you guys both just made, we always say it's as simple as a splash. So if you're just wanting to pour a glass of sparkling water and put a little splash of Shrub in there, you're going to be satisfied by just having something a little bit different, a little bit unique, more than sparkling water. And then throw Garnish and you have a cocktail.
Yep. Oh, and so you could even throw something as crazy as a orange ribbon, orange cherry ribbon.
That's fancy. That's good.
That is good.
We still just got our big bowl of cherries.
I broke a lot of orange rinds. Getting ready for.
I love it.
There's like a little table over here that just looks like a crash scene of oranges. So.
Well, you got it done. You did.
For my 30 seconds of fame with that one.
Yeah, that's super good. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, loving all this local awesomeness. Yes, thank you. Thanks to all for being supporting small local businesses, and thanks to Reyes for spotlighting all our best wishes. Oh yes, thank you so much, Jill and Natasha. Thank you. Yeah, like I know we're kind of a little ahead of the curve here, but please feel free to like throw in some more questions. I'll be at the chat here. I'm at the chat here. If you have any other like just general cocktail questions or general shrub questions. We request a class on Scott Garnish's nest. Please don't make me do that. Please don't make me do that. I am not prepared. I am not prepared.
You would be able to show us how all the bloopers.
Oh my god. It'd be like a nailed it cocktail garnish edition.
The whole class is just you trying to peel an orange.
One shameless plug I'm going to put out there while we're still here is that, a lot of people still don't know what Shrub is. And so anybody who's watching, like, share this, tell other people about it, let people know about this cool ingredient that is made here in Wisconsin, that is supporting small local farms, that can be found at Reyes, and give it a shot, because I think that we're obviously proud of it, but it really is a fun way to enjoy a drink.
And one bottle gets you 12 to 16 different drinks too, so that's a fun fact for you.
Mm-hmm.
You can play around with quite a few different beverage recipes in that way.
Yeah, and have fun with it. Like I love to just like kind of all like, okay, I'm gonna try this bitters with this shrub this time. Bleep blop bloop, like 2 or 3, 2 to 5 dashes, whatever, and then a little bit of shrub. Try it. Okay, now I'm gonna try this bitters. Like play around with it. Like have fun with it. Like these are not anything that needs to stick to like a specific classic recipe. Like these are, have fun with it. Does Siren Shrub have a store or tasting room for post-COVID times?
In our dreams.
Yeah.
We do have a store online.
But not a tasting room yet. But it is something that we talk about. So the few things that I think are on the horizon or that we really want to think more about is having a social space. So not only where kind of our test kitchen is there and where we can try out different recipes and have people come in and taste shrubs, but also we want to start to do some limited release flavors. And so Scott will be hearing more about that in the coming weeks, actually. But
pretty sure Zach is in the chat right now. So Zach, just keep an ear out there, bud.
But so that we can support more farms, put more flavors out there, because we know that a lot of places can only carry so many SKUs, and then they're gonna like start turning us down, like you can't have that many flavors because we don't have that much shelf space. But we still know that people want new flavors all the time, and so we want to figure out some ways to do some seasonals that'll just kind of be out and gone, and try them, and maybe they're back next year, maybe they're not, and to start to do a little bit more experimentation.
Sure. And to that point too, when you're scaling a product, sometimes you get really good flavors that just don't make sense to scale. And so this would give us the opportunity to launch flavors that we wouldn't be able to bring to mass market. So yeah, fingers crossed that that all works out. That would be super fun for everybody.
Yes, indeed. All right. That's. I'm checking my notes here. I think that's my spiel here. We know we're a little early team, but thank you. My ears to the ground, Zach. Yes, thank you, Zach. Zach is our sales rep for you guys.
Awesome! Yay! Your left bakery time now?
Yes.
Nice! Hi, Zach. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I'm gonna stay logged in here until probably about 8 o'clock in case anybody has any other questions or anything like that. They can just go ahead and throw them in. I'm gonna re-up some club and get some more bubble in my drink here.
So one of the things that we could touch on in these last few minutes, if you want, I don't know what time we're at, but just for people like as they're trying to put together non-alcoholic drinks. So I know we made a simple one tonight, which was the syrup, the shrub, and the club soda. But we have some kind of principles. Maybe on the spot here.
I wrote it down, so it's okay. I knew where this was headed.
So some of the kind of principles that we think about when we're crafting a non-alcoholic drink, and especially just because it is, some people, maybe if they've given up alcohol or if they just have never really drank or never really been into it, and maybe a cocktail making is a little bit scary. And we made it simple tonight with these, but we just have a few things to keep in mind when you're going to craft a non-alcoholic drink.
We have 5 mocktail basics if you care for us to dive in here.
Please do.
Number 1 is we tell people to make bold flavor choices. That is, don't be scared of flavor in your mocktails. So that could be shrubs, simple syrups, ginger beers, different sparkling waters, tonics. Go crazy. Like, don't be scared to combine things together that maybe you wouldn't otherwise, because oftentimes those flavor combinations are what makes that complex, fun mocktail that you're hoping to get.
And tonight was a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The second basic is balance is key. So we look for sweet, spice, acid, bitter. You want all those things to kind of jive and mesh and none to stand out more than the other. But you can also play around with that if you're a sweet person or a sour person. You can up or down those things depending on what you prefer.
If you're a sour person, we're sorry.
Yeah, we're really
No,
sorry.
I'm just kidding. Not just drinking sour. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Okay. I like sour better than sweet, so I'm a sour person.
Sour's good.
Oh, number 3 is texture, like bubbles. You can use different types of ice, muddle things. So all that gives you a different mouthfeel, and that will make a better mocktail. Next, we use the tools. So strainers, shakers, spoons. Doesn't have to be fancy. If you have a mason jar, that's fine. Muddlers. Doesn't have to be extreme, but to use the tools really does craft a better drink. And then lastly, finishing touches, those garnishes, and also
You killed it tonight.
silicone molds for your ice cubes. That's my hot tip.
So
Get
my
those.
husband totally made fun of, well, no.
He made fun of me.
No. He was like, she has, really huge ice cubes.
Right.
And he didn't really get it. And he's more of a beer drinker and drinks wine. So he just didn't really pay much attention to like what it actually does. And so then I got the big ice cubes. And then he's like, oh my gosh, this ice cube never melts. It's so great. And I was like, see, Minnie knows what she's talking about.
You
They
should drink cool.
they do hold up. Yeah, I have like the big sphere molds at home.
Yes.
Yeah, like they do work. So don't
It
sleep
does.
on them, folks. Keep looking at the wrong screen. Oh,
Those are our hot tips. Yeah.
great tips. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This was awesome.
Thank you for supporting our small business. It's
Oh,
so
of
awesome.
course. It's easy when you guys are awesome as you are. Like, it's really easy to support an awesome business and awesome ladies. So thank you for being great. And I think that's it. Chat, any other last minute questions you guys have? Feel free to throw them in there. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep sipping.
I mean, it's worth sipping. It's very, very good. I'm going to text Jeremy the rest, and Mary maybe right after this, and tell them they have to do this.
Spread the word. Yeah.
Yes.
So good.
Oh, great tips. Yes. Awesome. Thank you, everyone, so much. All right. Well, then, without further ado, we're going to sign off if there's no other questions. Thank you, everyone, for attending today. Our next cocktail event is a couples cocktail class on February 11th. You will get to see me and my lovely girlfriend, Natasha, who I'm going to teach how to make 3 different sparkling cocktails.
Fun.
So if you need a little virtual date night for Valentine's Day, February 11th, here at Raise TV. It's my own little shameless plug. So,
Awesome.
all right. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Thanks
for
for
having
having
us.